The views and opinions in the following program do not reflect the views and opinions of the Grand Valley Television Station or the university. The Grand Ego is intended to be satirical and should not be taken literally.
Hello, Grand Valley. My name is Jaret Grisamer, and this is The Grand Ego. Thank you for joining us for our first ever episode of The Grand Ego. For all of those tuning in to watch, I'd just like to say, hi, Mom! And to the others, thank you for drunkenly channel flipping on GVTV. Now let's talk about what's happening around campus. On tonight's top story, it's fight night between Grand Valley and the Lanthorn. Each side is throwing some good punches, but who is going to end up getting the knockout? In the December 5th issue of the Lanthorn, an article called No More Billboards, written as an editorial for the Lanthorn, was published. The article reported on the expanding campus facilities and the fact that Grand Valley has been naming its buildings and rooms after donors. The Lanthorn claimed that GV is selling out and prostituting itself to corporate sponsors. Wow, I don't see what's all the fuss is about. We've had the lake halls named after the Michigan Great Lakes for years, and we haven't gotten a dime from that. The article concludes with Balboa claiming that the minute we see T-Haas in a NASCAR-esque advertisement suit, we're out. I would rather much see our beloved president walking around campus in a colorful advertisement suit instead of a burlap sack because he can't afford a nice suit and tie. After the original article was published, GV responded with a letter to the editor written by Karen Loth, Vice President of Development, and Matthew McLogan, Vice President for University Relations. That was the farthest thing from playing nice. The two vice presidents stated that the Lanthorn should take pride in the fact that its university fundraising is the envy of higher education in Michigan. The kicker of the article came from the final sentence of the letter stating perhaps the Lanthorn staff should return their scholarships to the university for reissuance to students who would be more appreciative of our donors. Whoa, the gloves are coming off now. In this corner, the liberal arts university that's been bleeding you dry to provide higher education, weighing at $11,000 per year, Grand Valley State University. And in this corner, the Sultan of Sass, the mistress of misspelling words, your only legitimate news source, the Lanthorn! The first two punches have been taken. Lanthorn fires right back with a quick 1-2 jab response, claiming that private companies would take a place of donors above academic giants. The original article was looking at the future of GV and completely hypothetical, and the administration is trying to limit the Lanthorn's freedom of press. But what's this? Did the Lanthorn just punch itself right in the jugular? The Lanthorn released the results of an online poll asking students, should GVSU continue to name rooms after donors? The results were 76% for yes and 24% for no. In the strange turn of events, Matthew McLogan has responded, stating that the university has always had a commitment to free speech and robust language. This match is in a draw. It seems the contenders have frozen just like the end of Rocky III. We will have to wait and see if the Lanthorn will respond. You know, to give my 2 cents on the ordeal, I applaud the administration. Stepping outside of donors to make this institution better is a fantastic idea. The new renovations of Lake Superior Hall will be sponsored by Starbucks. With your communications degree, you also get certified to be a barista at Starbucks. That gives you a guaranteed job after college. I think I might follow in Grand Valley's footsteps. As of now, the Grand Ego will now be called the Brand Ego, sponsored by Meijer. Higher standards, lower prices. We'll be right back.
Feeling hopeless? Need direction in life? Watch GVTV.
One day I was bored and accidentally flipped to channel 10, and it turned out to be mildly entertaining. Now I'm addicted to it like heroin. Thanks, GVTV.
Doctors everywhere could recommend watching GVTV for up to 25 hours a day.
For the record, this isn't the first time the Lanthorn has gotten into trouble with the law. Here to tell you about the Lanthorn and its humble, scandalous origins is Kelly Lachlan with the story.
If the Lanthorn were a person, it would be the liberal studies major you couldn't have a conversation with without offending. But back in the day, the Lanthorn was more of that cool uncle who smoked weed and lived in a VW van. The Lanthorn was born in 1968 and adopted by Grand Valley State University. It began as a crazy, left-wing, student-run alternative newspaper. Modern equivalents would be the Laker Sentinel and the Black Sheep. The old Lanthorn pushed for marijuana legalization and was laced with psychedelic images. The November 27, 1968 issue was called the Literary Issue and told a short story that the Lanthorn wishes everybody would forget, which shouldn't be that hard because nobody reads the Lanthorn. It was called A Typical Life in the Day of J. Oswald Jones, written by then Editor-in-Chief James Wasserman. Here's an excerpt. Scribbled into the brown walls were the symbols of his kingdom, coats of arms in the shape of huge disemboweled genitals, even a motto, if you can't drink it, drive it, or screw it, then forget it. You would have to remember that one. But above all, there was the word, and the word was F-U, the universal language of his kingdom. What motivated men to write that one lone word? What? O'Malley? Life? God? Country? Motherhood? Apple pie? The girl next door? Them all! But what the scribes really were saying was Sam, for the rest were one in Sam. He wondered if Sam knew what the scribes had written. Sam would be pleased if he did. J. Oswald Jones would lick Sam's boots once more. Wasserman was arrested a few days later by the Ottawa County Sheriff Department for distributing a lewd, obscene, and filthy newspaper. He was presented with a court order from the county prosecutor that requested that the student newspaper cease operations. But Grand Valley's Board of Control voted to reinstate the newspaper as soon as legally possible. They believed that Ottawa County had no jurisdiction over the population of newspapers and that the injunction was unconstitutional. They expressed to state legislators that value on student opinion and academic freedom. So, for those new at the Lanthorn, the days are gone where you can get arrested for saying 4 times in a row. That is essentially one tweet for the average college student. Don't get upset about offending anyone with your articles, because that would require someone reading them.
If you want to read more about the history of the Lanthorn, look up Ian Post's article about it in the Laker Sentinel, or go to grandvalleytv.com/thegrandeagle for more information. Now, we all think we know everything about parking lots on campus, but do we really? Here's senior correspondent Adam Duke on Grand Valley parking.
After freshman year, we all learned that riding the bus sucks. It's free, but so is the rec center, and I know I don't want to exercise anytime soon. And because I don't want to walk in the cold, it looks like I have to drive to school. Also, the buses are always late anyways.
The problem? The parking passes at Grand Valley are really expensive. 1 year alone will cost you about $350. Now this is where you get to park if you're really unlucky. I'm about half a mile away from the campus right now, so if you get to park here, let's just say it takes a really long time. Let's see how long it takes.
'Cause you know I'd walk 1,000 miles if I could just see you.
This is the part where we wait.
But why do parking passes cost so much? What does the university do with my $11,000 tuition money anyway? And why can't I park for free on campus like all the other schools?
Maybe we can find some answers in here. This is the Student Organization Center, otherwise called the SOC. Student groups are encouraged to get together and work on projects here, share ideas, work together. It's a professional environment for organizations to meet.
Well, mostly professional.
This is the Creation Station.
It's a small craft station intended for clubs to make signs and posters. Every year, the university spends upwards of $10,000 maintaining this arts and crafts station. But who really uses it? The answer is, well, no one. The Creation Station is really only used by RAs and groups during campus life night in the beginning of the year. Aside from that, it's really empty. Perhaps if we cut down costs on this beautiful art station, then just maybe it would be possible to get free parking. But probably not. The school makes over $3 million every year from selling parking passes. Add to that an additional $200,000 for parking tickets, mixed with 4 different types of passes, then you have enough revenue for a new major for Grand Valley: parking administration. These business students can learn to hand out tickets and make millions, ruining people's days. It's genius.
Parking tickets are handed out like candy.
You can't park at a broken parking meter or else you'll get a ticket. You can't park in a red lot with a yellow pass, or a yellow lot with a red pass. And forget about finding parking anywhere if you're a student or a commuter. This is Lot J, and is about as far removed from campus you can get. Parking is sold for cheap here, but as you can see,
I'm really, really far away from everything. The fines you get for parking are different depending on where you park. Without a parking pass, this is a $20 parking violation. This is only a $15 parking violation. This is also only a $15 parking violation. And so is this.
so we clearly have enough money for crayons and construction paper, even new buildings, but we don't have anything for parking yet. Regulations regarding parking are strict, but you're in college, so you should be smart enough to figure them out. I'm Adam Duke, signing off.
Thanks, Adam. Going back to the fight the Lanthorn had with GVSU, another adversary that is against GVSU is college norms. I know what you may be thinking. GVSU isn't a normal campus with big parties, copious amount of sex, and an aching to stay here for as long as possible. What? But alas, it seems to be so. GVSU breaks 3 normal things that most colleges and students have. Number 1, dating. It seems quite obvious that this school has an odd feel to it when it comes to relationships. Not a whole lot of dating is around, and most of what is here is from previous schools, be that from colleges or high school. Even then, it isn't what's so weird. It is the fact that there seems to be little interactions at all in and around campus that would be titled dating. While some may say it is our generation that has an issue with dating or going steady, I think it is more along the lines of how GVSU students are simply afraid to say what they feel. Here's a few tweets from GVSU confessions. Number 1, newly single and all I want is a hot makeout sesh. Number 2, I f***ed this frat boy because I saw he raps and any musician turns me on. He had me hitting the high notes all night. And number 3, girl me off at the icebreaker earlier this year. Ended up going back to her crib and got amazing from her and her roomie. Oh my God, what is wrong with some of the students around here? Number 2, school versus home. When it comes to leaving the womb of comfort that is called home, most students in college, universities have trouble getting their bearings straight and to lose the homesickness, but primarily enjoy being out on their own and being independent from their family. It seems the GV Lakers have not only found a way to stay in the room, but they still have their umbilical cord attached. Here's a photo of GVSU on the weekday. Now here's GVSU on a Saturday. I can't actually tell if this is an historical photo of Chernobyl or an actual photo of GVSU on the weekends. Nope, no, it's GVSU on the weekends. It just seems GVSU might as well be a glorified community college where we just commute here for classes, then go back home for some warm milk from mother's breasts, and maybe a nice nappy nap with their blankie. Number 3, drinking like champions. College is often a time of experimentation in labs of chemistry, as well as with your friend Tina, who always seems to look at a woman's boobs when she's passing by, but claims she isn't into girls like that. Along with those misadventures, sometimes directly, is alcohol. Seems kind of ironic as we are right near Beer City, USA. Plus, it seems the GVPD has a bug in the bonnet about drinking anywhere near GVSU, giving out 76 marijuana and alcohol citations last year alone, which means it actually isn't just alcohol that gets you a biblical stoning by Ottawa County, but pot is as well. I guess my next question is, which is better? With more on this topic, we have our weekly debate, I'm right and you're wrong.
First off, I'd like to say that as an American, I can say whatever the hell I want.
Tell him, man.
Shut up, hippie.
Alright guys, let's settle down now. The drunk said that he'd fight me if he didn't go first, so he can start.
Alcohol is just a good time for everybody.
Until you throw up.
That's only for inexperienced freshmen.
Weed, it just chills everybody out. You smoke it and you like experience the universe and stuff.
Yeah, well, at least my culture and my vice isn't looked down upon by the government.
Forget the government, man. At least weed doesn't make you fat.
Yeah, well, marijuana gives cancer and the munchies.
It helps with the cancer. Studies have shown that cannabis actually helps cancer patients with their chemotherapy and the pain that goes with it. Alcohol it's just like a depressant.
Yeah, well, the last time I got rid of alcohol, it caused a Great Depression.
I don't think that's historically accurate.
Weed is like nature's flower, and alcohol is like the devil's piss.
Look, alcohol might not be the healthiest or the smartest choice of vices, but I myself prescribe it to me every night to keep myself from crying myself to sleep.
Dude, that's sad. Do you want like a hug?
Screw you, man.
What did I do?
Well, that was informative. Thank you to Alcoholic and Stoner for that rousing debate. We'll be right back.
Dang kids, why are you on my lawn? Get off my lawn.
But we're watching GVTV.
That's our show for tonight. Here's something that will keep you entertained for a while. This is Jaret Grisamer signing off. Have a good night and stay grand.
1, 2, 3, 4.